In the history of West Indies cricket, there have been 160 different opening partnerships. When Tej Narayan Chanderpaul and Craig Brathwaite reached 100 this morning, they have accomplished a feat that only 9 previous of those 160 opening partnerships have done. Hello everyone and welcome to the Cricket Forum. Please click on that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. West Indies won the toss and as expected chose to bat first. They left out Bonner, Gabriel, Thomas and Warrican from the 15 men that are in Zimbabwe. 2 times defending champion Barbados have 6 players in the starting 11. Guyana 2 and 1 each from Jamaica, Trinidad and the Leeward Islands. Brathwaite and Chanderpaul were slow, very slow. Sometimes it was difficult to watch them. You dozed off in the early morning. But they were organized. They were assured. They were solid. And you got the impression that they were not going to out. Throughout the whole day, Zimbabwe got 1 appeal, and that was in the final over before rain drove the players off the field just before tea. In the first over after lunch, Chanderpaul top edge Evans down to the 3rd man boundary for 4, and there were oohs and ahs. But in the very next delivery, he eased on his front foot and drove it immaculately through the covers for another 4, as to say that shot was just a blip. Chanderpaul is 55 not out, along with Brathwaite, who are on 55 not out also. After 51 overs, West Indies was 112 without loss. A lot have been said, but they frustrated and demoralized the Zimbabwe bowling attack. And most importantly, with both tests coming so quickly after each other, they have the Zimbabwe bowlers in the field for the 51 overs. And hopefully, they will back out the entire second day. Although more rain is expected, it is not expected to be as heavy as today. West Indies 112 without loss. 33 West Indies opening partnership have scored 100 plus for the first wicket. Of the 160 different partnerships that have opened for the West Indies, only 33 of them have scored 100 plus for the opening partnership. Only 10 have done it more than once. And when Craig Brathwaite and Tej Narayan Chanderpaul reached 100 this morning in their partnership, they were the first to do so since Chris Gayle and Devon Smith scored the final of their 4 opening partnership exceeding 100 in 2010. Brathwaite and Chanderpaul is one of the only 10 West Indies opening pair to have scored a century opening partnership on more than one occasion. The list, of course, includes the legendary Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenidge, who have scored 100 opening partnership for the West Indies on 16 occasions. Roy Fredericks and Greenidge did it 5 times, and you look at the list, they are in 8th position, 2022, 2023, Craig Brathwaite and Tej-Narayan Chanderpaul. In only 5 innings, in this their third match, Brathwaite and Chanderpaul have succeeded where only 9 previous West Indies opening partnership have succeeded, in that they have scored their second 100 partnership in only their third match. Only Conrad Hunt and Ron Kanai, who did it also in 3 matches, can be compared to the feat of Craig Brathwaite and Tej-Narayan Chanderpaul scoring their runs in the first 3 matches. Let me look at your comment, and I keep that diagram on the board so that you can study it a little more. Why are you talking like that, buddy? I don't understand. John Campbell might need to go book for a different career if Tej keeps this up. Craig and Tej solid. They are very solid. They are very, very solid. Since half of day 1 rain out, we don't need 400, just 350. Bat till tea. Need to bat with a bit more intent than yesterday. I think that West Indies would have batted with more intent in the afternoon session. Bowlers were worn down. I think it was a good, solid start. West Indies is under pressure. There's no doubt that the team is under pressure. And I love the approach of Brathwaite and Chanderpaul. As I said in my opening comment, there are times when I felt that I want to doze off. It was difficult to watch. There were times when the innings was boring. But the fact is that they put on 100 partnership, something that we are begging for in West Indies cricket. We are begging for consistency. And Tej-Narayan Chanderpaul and Craig Brathwaite at this time appears to be giving us that consistency in the opening partnership that we need. I believe we are going to score a little faster. Naturally, we are going to score a little faster on the second day's play, weather permitting. I expect we to score, I wouldn't say 400. I am looking for 500. And that we make a big first inning score and really drain those bowlers. I am looking forward to the second test match, and I want to work these bowlers, these Zimbabwe's bowlers, very hard in their first test match. West Indies batsmen with the highest opening partnership. So the highest West Indies batsman that was involved in the highest number of opening partnership exceeding 100. Gordon Greenidge was involved in 22 such opening partnership exceeding 100. 16 with Desmond Haynes, 5 with Roy Fredericks, and I think 1 with Ron Kanai. Second on that list is not surprising. Haynes have 18th century opening partnership. Gale is third with 16, Fredericks 11, and Brathwaite. And Brathwaite with 8 in 5th position. As I said, Brathwaite is now a real superstar in this West Indies batting lineup. In Brathwaite's last 10 test matches, Brathwaite is averaging more than 50 runs per innings. Brathwaite have become a superstar, and we hope that Chanderpaul will follow Brathwaite. Because Brathwaite, despite all those wonderful openers that we have, the Hunt, the Fredericks. Well, Fredericks is on this list at 11, but Brathwaite is 8th century partnership at the start of the innings. It shows that Brathwaite belongs among the greatest openers the West Indies have ever produced. Brathwaite is a real superstar from Barbados and the West Indies. I feel your comment, I feel Tej will get in the 80s before being removed. I really want Tej-Narayan trying to make 100. He needs to get that monkey off his back of getting starts and not going on and not progressing to the big score. I fell asleep watching the game. John P. Nicol, I doze off so many times. There are so many times that I doze off. But the fact is, 112 without loss is 112 without loss. I put a poll in the community today, and in that poll, I asked, would you prefer West Indies to be 112 without loss or 175 for 3? The last time I checked the poll, 72% of the respondents prefer West Indies to have been 112 without loss. I congratulate Craig and Tage for the unbroken opening stand. Hope they both go on to a big score. That's my hope too, JP Nicol. Would be interesting to find out what Brathwaite average was after the 2021 Bangladesh series versus now. I feel it's gone from 32 to 35, which is very good. What I can tell you, Supernova 22, because I checked this, is that his average in his last 10 test matches is over 50. He's averaging more than 50, just about 50 in his last 10 test matches, which is outstanding. Jamal Smalls, Windies step up the pace a bit tomorrow. They will. I think they will. Does anyone know if tomorrow will be rain affected or not? For the 5 days of the test match, it's expected to be affected by rain. However, the first day, it is said that the first day will see the heaviest rain. Yesterday, rain was expected from in the morning, but just before tea. So we hope that there will be less rain on the second day. But it was said that the first day would have the most rain, but the match would be affected by rain throughout the competition, throughout the 5 days. I am looking for 500 runs. Me too. I am looking for 500 runs. We are in a very good position. I hope we pushed on and dominated. We need to keep the Zimbabwe's bowlers in the field as long as possible. The longer the Zimbabwe bowlers stay in the field, even if we do not win this match because of rain, we have a better chance to win the second match. We do, if the longer they stay in the field. Also, you missed the comment about Reifer and Thomas. Were you surprised about this inclusion at number 3? I was surprised at Reifer inclusion at number 3. I did not expect Reifer to play. I don't know, but majority of the persons in this community think that either Thomas or Bonner should bat at number 3. No one have Reifer at 8%. Only 8% of the respondents believe that Reifer should bat at number 3. I would not have Reifer at number 3. He's not a number 3. We need to bat once. I don't want us to bat once. As I said, I am thinking second test. I am not thinking so much first test because the information I'm getting is that there will be a lot of rain in the first test and we may not be able to push for a result. If we bat once, we give the Zimbabwe bowlers time to rest. We need them in the field as long as possible for this first test. We need to get some work in their legs. That's what I'm thinking. Get some work in those Zimbabwe bowlers' legs. So by the time the second test comes around, which follows quickly on the first test, the 11th, the second test starts the 11th of February, the bowlers will not be that fit and we will be able to push on. So Fitzpatrick, I think we should bat twice. Is it time for Jason Holder to score a test 100 in this Zimbabwe tour since early 2019 versus England? That is true. And I've said last night, if you listened last night, I have said that in the last 10 test matches, Jason Holder have only passed 50 on one occasion. He has not gotten a 5-wicket all. Not in a match, not in an innings, in a match. He has not gotten 5 wickets in a match for his last 15 test matches. As I have said, Jason Holder would not have been in my squad to go to Zimbabwe, but he's there and he's in the team, so we must support him for he's there. That's 4 years, that's true. Brooks need to be in the test. Jamor Smalls, I'm going to flag that comment because we just have a regional 4-day game that ended today between Barbados and Guyana Harper Eagle, and Brooks did not deliver. If Brooks wants his name to be called, Brooks must deliver. If Athanaze wants his name to be called, he cannot reach 40 and then play an atrocious shot. If Imlap wants his name to be called, he cannot get a pair in the first regional match. If Carter wants his name to be called, he must make big runs. I am not going to call anyone's name and say that they should be in the West Indies team and they are not producing. I did some research recently, probably 2 or 3 days ago. And I look at the last 10 matches that Athanaze played, Imlap played, Carty played, and I compared it with the last 10 matches that Blackwood played and Bonner played, because the two names that are often called upon to be out of the West Indies team. And Blackwood and Bonner, in their last 10 test matches, have scored more runs than all of these other players in regional 4-day cricket. So the test level is higher than regional 4-day cricket. But despite the low standard of Blackwood and Bonner, and I'm not here saying that Blackwood and Bonner are performing great. What I'm saying is that these players, the Imlap, the Athanaze, the Carty, Blackwood and Bonner have scored more runs in test cricket in their last 10 test matches than these guys have scored in regional 4-day cricket. Now, we need players to step up to get rid of these guys. But for their performances at the test level is not acceptable. I'm not here saying that their performances at the test level is acceptable. What I'm saying is that these players who are playing regional 4-day cricket, who we are calling for to take their place, are making fewer runs than these guys are making in tests. Is there any Zimbabwe batter to be worried about? Well, the skipper Irwin and Gary Balance. Remember, Gary Balance played test cricket for England and his average is close to 40. Gary Balance test average is close to 40. I'm just going to look at the Zimbabwe. Here's the Zimbabwe squad, the Zimbabwe team that was named. This is the Zimbabwe 11 that is playing. Kea, Craig Irvin, and Gary Balance, I think, are the batsmen that we expected to get most trouble from. Gary Balance, as I said, have a test average of close to 40. He has not been in the best of form for the past 3 to 4 years, but he has done it already in test cricket. So we expect them that he may be doing it again for Zimbabwe. But we should win this test series. Weather permitting, West Indies should win this test series comfortably. Now, we have seen the conclusion of all 3 matches in the regional tournament today. That the first round of the regional 4-day tournament. Yesterday, the Windward Island Volcanoes and Trinidad and Tobago Red Force played to a draw. Trinidad hung on for a draw. I thought that the Windward Island Volcanoes batted too long on the 4th day, especially that Athanaze got out early. Now, in the match between the Guyana Harper Eagle and the Barbados Pride, the Guyana Harper Eagle won comfortably. Guyana Harper Eagle batted first and made 371, and as you heard, Matthew Nandu made 126, and Older, that's Chaim Older, not Chamar Older, had gotten 4 for 72. In their second innings at bat, Guyana made 126 for 9, declared. Now, Barbados in their first innings made 220, but were dismissed for 96 in their second innings. Shamar Brooks made only 8. Niall Simmet, who I think played 1 or 2 test matches for the West Indies, took 5 for 31. So Guyana Harpy Eagles were the only winner in round 1 of the West Indies 4-day regional tournament. In the other match that completed today with the Leeward Islands Hurricane versus the Jamaican Scorpion, that match ended in controversy. And if you were watching, you would have seen it. It ended in controversy. Up to this time, I do not know if the extension is a match condition. I messaged the coach of the Jamaica Scorpion, Andrew Richardson, and I asked him to come on the show tonight to explain what happened at the end of the game. And he said that the time that the show will be going on, he will be out with the team having dinner, and he is unable to come on. But I really need to find out what really happened at the end of that game, because it ended in controversy. Leeward batted first and made 260. In the end, Jamaica today was chasing, I think, 273 to win. They hung on with the last pair of Mansing and Harty batting out the last 10 overs to deny Leeward Islands Hurricane victory. There was a time when, with 9 wickets down, Cornwall nicked off Mansing and the fielder had slipped. I think it was Terence Ward dropped the catch. And there went the chance of the Leeward Hurricane winning. So Jamaica hung on for a draw. Just like Trinidad and Tobago Red Fort hanging on, although this Jamaican one was very closer because Jamaica was 1 wicket away from losing. So the Guyana Harpy Eagle were the only winner in the first round of the regional 4-day. Any report on Murphy, I did report on it, that for the 5 days of the test match, there will be rain. However, this rain was forecast first day of the test match. Now, in other cricket news relating to the West Indies, Ed Meyer today made 54 from 35 deliveries. They defeated the Desert Vipers, the team of Shafrain Rutherford and Sheldon Cottrell. Cottrell got 1 for 30 from his 4 overs. Rutherford, who hit 5 sixes in 1 over earlier this week, was only able to make 2 runs off 5 deliveries. Brathwaite also played for the Gulf Giant and his 4 overs went for 34. That's Carlos Brathwaite. The Abu Dhabi Knight Rider, same way in the International League T20. The Abu Dhabi Knight Rider, the team that have 6 West Indian in it, they played their 10th and final match today, and it was the first match that they were winning. Final in 8 matches, Knight Rider, captained by Sunil Narayan, who bowled his 4 overs today and got 1 wicket for 14 runs. Russell were only able to bowl 2 overs, and it went for 20 runs. Hussain was much better. Hussain bowled his 4 overs for 30 runs. When the Abu Dhabi Knight and King made 20 from 18 deliveries, Russell made 2 from 5 deliveries. So the Abu Dhabi Knight knocked out of the international. In the SA20, only 1 West Indian took part today, and that was Odin Simit. He made 7 from 10 deliveries and took 34 runs. Bada took 1 wicket for 34 runs off his 4 overs also. This match between the Pretoria Capitals and the My Cape Town team went down to the final. Sam Curran bowled a full toss to Josh Little, and he hit it over. They got 2 and won the match. At the end of this round, of the regional 4-day cricket competition. Cornwall, with a spectacular performance, 10 wickets in the match, and scoring a big half century of 82, will again divide opinion. Let's start again. Coming down and then aside. Encourage Cornwall to try and lose some weight. Mark you, if Cricket West Indies is asking him to lose some weight and they are not picking him because of that issue, he cannot just sit back and expect Cricket West Indies to change their mind. He needs to do something. Even if he cannot go back to the 360 that he was, try and go to 390 or 380 and let people see that he's trying to get off the weight. I am not saying whether or not he should be in the team or he should not be in the team. I am merely saying that he should do something to influence his selection. At the end of this first round of the regional 4-day cricket competition, the names that will be on everyone's lips are Kimani Melias, Matthew Nadu, and Ryan John. Also, Abhijay Mansingh from Jamaica. Interestingly, Ryan John and Abhijay Mansingh were not down to take part in this first round of the tournament. But because of injury and a medical condition, both got their chances and they did very well. Match starting next week that you come good again. And if you should score another century next week,